Today I'm going to be talking about some really basic file upload bypass techniques. So what I mean for that is, have you ever been on a website that has a file upload feature, right, where maybe you can upload an image or maybe you can upload a video or a PDF file? And have you ever thought about, how could I upload a file that's different than what it's accepting? So as a hacker, one thing that we're always looking for is the ability to upload our malware. And malware can take many different file formats, right? It could be an executable file, .exe. It could be a PHP file, potentially. There's many different file types that malware could present itself as. And we just need to be able to have a way to upload that file onto a web server. Now, any modern web server that's configured with security in mind is going to prevent those common file extensions that I just mentioned that are easily exploitable from being uploaded. And I have a great example of that. So there is a machine called Popcorn on the public platform called Hack the Box. And if you're not familiar with Hack the Box, I'd highly recommend checking it out if you're at all interested in learning how to hack or sharpening your hacking skills. Essentially what it is a repository of a bunch of different vulnerable machines, and you're able to go in and you have permission and you try to hack those computers, you try to hack those machines, and whatever exploitation method you use is really just kind of like a new skill that you can add to your belt. So one of those machines is Popcorn, and I like this one because it had a perfect use case for me to make what this video is based upon. So you'll see as we go through, but essentially there's a couple file upload features on this web application, and one of them accepts PNG files. And we're able to, through a pretty basic bypass technique that I'm going to show you, we're able to upload not just a PNG file, but we're actually able to upload a PHP file. And since PHP is running on the system, we're able to execute PHP code. So therefore, we're ending up with the ability to actually take full control of the system by executing whatever commands we want to. And I'll show you that. So to begin, we have a blog post that I actually just got finished writing. So if you prefer a text format, or if you just kind of wanted to follow along or bookmark this page for later, I highly recommend checking out my blog. I'll make sure a link is in the description to this page. But it basically just shows you everything I'm about to go over in the video, but just in a text format. Real quick, guys, I just wanted to say I did not expect this video to run nearly as long as it ended up running. So if you want to skip some of the explanation and setting the stage of the exploit process, then take a look at the description. I'll have timestamps that kind of help you jump to different parts in the video depending on what it is you're here for. If you want to just see some of the bypass techniques, then again, look at the description, hit the timestamp that references that section of the video, and yeah, again, thanks for watching. Alright, well, let's just dive in. Okay, so once we're connected to the Hack the Box VPN, we are then able to communicate to the Popcorn computer, which is at 10.10.10.6. And if we just go to its basic web interface here, we see the default web page. Now, I should mention, this video does not intend to serve as a guide for fully exploiting the Popcorn machine. Rather, I'm just really showing one piece of the exploitation process, which is bypassing the file upload. So the actual vulnerability lives on this address here. If we go to /torrent, we are taken to an application called Torrent Hoster. From here, we're able to try to sign in with an account or sign up, but what we want is this upload feature. So if we go into the upload, it's going to ask us to log in, and we don't have an account yet, so I'm just going to sign up and we'll make a new one. So I'll just go ahead and just fill this out. Great. So I've got an account to log in with. Let's go and log back in now. So once we're logged in, we're able to view a list of any of the existing torrents that are already uploaded to this torrent hoster application. And what we need to do is we need to upload our own torrent file. And the vulnerability that I'm going to show you actually isn't in our own torrent file, rather it's in the PNG option. And you don't get the option to upload a PNG for a torrent until after the torrent's already uploaded. So step one is we need to go out and find a torrent file that we can upload to this web application, and then we can then edit it and add a PNG to serve as like an icon for that torrent that we're now hosting. I'll show you what I mean. So to begin, we'll just go out, and I know Kali Linux's website, they have a torrent file that we can just quickly find and download. So we'll just go into that real quick, and it's available for download right here. And we're just looking for any file that has this this .torrent file extension. So I'm going to save this. That should be in my downloads folder, and then I can come back and we'll just browse. And inside of our downloads, we can open up that torrent file. And I don't care about its name if it doesn't require us to change it. We can just specify other here. I'll just call it Kali Linux image torrent, and we'll see if we can upload it. And this could take a minute to upload. So while that does, I'll talk about some other tools that we're actually going to need to pull this off. So what we'll want to do is pull open BurpSuite. And if you're not familiar with BurpSuite, BurpSuite is a tool that it's basically serving as a proxy, which means we can route all of our HTTP, all of our web traffic through it. And by doing so, we're able to not only look through the history of any websites we've accessed, but we're really able to analyze the requests that we sent to that website, as well as analyze the response that the website gives us. And it's super granular, and it shows us a lot more information than what we'd get by just browsing to the website through the browser. In addition to that, we even have the ability to modify what requests we're making to a website before we actually make it. So, if you're on a web application and you try to go to a website, you could use BurpSuite to actually modify something before it takes you to that website and before it actually goes out to the web server to make that request. This will make more sense in a minute. I just want to show you that BurpSuite is a tool that we're going to leverage here in just a second, so we'll want to make sure that that's up and running. Okay, so it looks like our torrent file finished uploading, and at this point we're now taken to this informational page about it. And if we scroll down a bit, we see we have this section here for editing a torrent and looking at the screenshot. So if I edit this torrent file, we now actually have the ability to go in and browse and select our own screenshot. And this file upload right here, this is where we're going to try to perform the exploitation. Because you can see that it only allows JPEG, GIFs, and PNG files, right? Well, here's the thing. I use another Firefox extension called Wapalizer, and what this does is it basically will try to fingerprint the server that we're talking to and try to identify, well, what technologies is that server using. And if it's able to, it'll come back and it'll show us things like, well, this is a Apache web server. We can see what specific version of Apache it's running. We can see what operating system it's likely hosted on, which in this case is Ubuntu. But we also can see what programming languages might be running on this web server as well. And in this case, this confirms that PHP is running on the web server. Well, what does that mean? That means that if we're able to upload our own PHP code, that code will actually get executed as PHP code, and PHP has a ton of vulnerabilities that we may be able to take advantage of and control our own commands that get executed and maybe even take full control of the system. So this is awesome to see for a hacker. Not that PHP isn't a secure, legitimate service to be out there running on web applications, but when there's vulnerabilities and you're running PHP, you're really introducing, I guess, a devastating, or you're leaving your web app open to be exploited is kind of the purpose of what I'm trying to say. Alright, so what would happen if we could actually edit this torrent and upload a PHP file instead of a requested PNG. Well, that could potentially allow for us to be malicious, but first, let's just see if we can even upload a PNG file. And if we can, let's see if we can figure out where that file actually gets uploaded to. So we'll edit this and we'll browse. And I already have a JPEG image here, so I guess this whole time I've been saying PNG, but I'm actually going to use a JPG file, but it works the same. And we'll just go ahead and open this up. And I'm going to submit my screenshot. Cool. So it looks like we were able to successfully get that to upload. So we'll close this out. Now, I've already spent some time on this box, and we can refresh this page real quick, and you should see now we have that new image uploaded. But assuming we had exploited this already, and we performed the bypass and we uploaded a PHP file, we would need to figure out where that PHP file got put on the server, and we would need to be able to browse to it and execute its contents in order to actually get malicious and do anything. Because there's no point in putting malware on a server if you can't execute it, right? You can put it there all you want, but if no one's there to open it, or if you don't have a way to open it, it's never going to run, and you're never going to get it to do anything. So the good news is I already know exactly where we need to look. So I'll delete this out. And there's another directory here called upload. If we go into that directory, we're presented with a list of images here. And notice we've got a PNG, but here's a JPG file. And the file we just uploaded was also a JPG. So let's upload this, let's click on that, open it up, and check it out. This is that image we just uploaded a second ago, right? So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us anything we upload here onto this torrent file is going to be executable at that upload directory. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So now what we need is, instead of uploading the actual image, I want to upload a PHP file. So let's go ahead and try to do that. To begin, I'm just going to try to make our own PHP file. A quick and dirty way we could try to do that is we can just try to echo out here just whatever, some basic content like hello world, and we'll throw that into example.php, right? So we just made, right here, we made a example.php file. It doesn't have any real contents in it other than the text hello world. This isn't malicious, but we created an example.php, and let's see what happens when we go to upload it. So if we come back here to torrent, and we go to upload, and actually I want to go to browse, I want to find the one we uploaded earlier and edit this. I want to come in and try to browse to, instead of picking the JPG image, I want to pick this example.php. This is a file I just made a moment ago. So I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to try to upload it. Okay, so this came back with invalid file, right? Last time it showed a screen that said, well, the file upload was successful when we tried to actually upload an image. So what can we do? What can we do with this? Let's go take a look at BurpSuite real quick, right? I told you earlier it was important for us to have this running. One of the reasons is we can go into the HTTP history, and we can go through and we can look through the history of our most recent requests. And right here, if we open up this one, we can look and we can see, okay, so this is the example.php file that we tried to upload that just contained the context, or the contents hello world. I'm going to right click this and send it to repeater, so that way we have it easily available for us to modify later. Let's dive a little bit further. Let's see if we can find the entry or the request we made when we uploaded our PNG file. Or I guess, sorry, our JPG file. Yes, okay. So this is the name of the actual JPG file that we were able to successfully upload. So I'm going to right click and send this one to repeater as well. And repeater is a functionality of BurpSuite that allows us to quickly and easily make a change to a request and then analyze the response. And then we could change the request again, analyze the response, and it just allows us to quickly make changes and see what happens. So we've got two tabs here. This first tab is example.php, and then the second tab is our login.php. It's actually the upload for officialfinish.jpg. This is that file name that we uploaded. So this one was successful, and one of the things that we could tell right off the bat is the file name is equal to .jpg as a file extension. So what were to happen if we were to just come back here, and what if instead of example.php we were to just go ahead and throw in example.jpg.php. And let's try to send that off. And it doesn't like it. It comes back with invalid file. Okay. So what else is going on here? Well, the next piece down is content type. Content type of image/JPEG. I'm going to copy that. And we can see the content type here is showing application PHP. So I'm going to replace that with image JPEG, and we're going to try to send it again. Whoa, check that out. Upload completed. So what just happened? Okay, well, we don't know for sure because we don't have access to the back-end code of the web application. We can't see exactly what it's requiring and what filtering is in place. But most likely what's happening is that web application checks the content type of the image of the file that gets uploaded, and it checks to verify that it's an image or a JPEG. It probably also runs a check in the file name to make sure that the file extension JPG or PNG or one of the other accepted image file types is present in the file name. However, it's not doing a great job because all we did was we modified these two pieces of information, and now we're able to actually upload a PHP file. So let's assume that this didn't work. What is another step that we could take? What's another bypass technique that we could try? Well, there's one more thing I want to point out in this video, and that is the use of magic bytes. So when we're looking at this, which is an actual JPEG image that we uploaded, the very first beginning set of bytes here in the image are what they call magic bytes. And what that does is they're essentially just bytes that are put in the image file to tell applications like the web app that we're trying to upload to what file type the file really is. So typically a web application, even if it didn't have all of this information here, it can typically identify based just on the first set of bytes of the app, of the file that's being uploaded. It could try to determine, okay, well this file is going to be a PNG because it contains the magic bytes for a PNG file, right? Or JPEG in this case. So another thing we could do is we could just copy a chunk, and I don't know exactly how many bytes we would need, but if we just go in and grab a generous chunk here, we could then go back and we could just throw that into the beginning of our PHP file. And by doing so, if the web application also performs this check against confirming that that the magic bytes exist, then having this here would allow us to bypass that as well, and we get a successful file upload. Okay, great. So I've shown you here that we can upload a PHP file that contains the contents of Hello World, right? But why is that beneficial? That's not malicious. It's not going to do anything for us, right? So what if we wanted to actually get malicious with this? Let's go out to the interwebs real quick, and we can just throw open a quick Google search, and I'm just going to try to find a PHP web shell one-liner, just something super basic. And I don't know if this is a good one or not, but I should be able to tell by looking at it once I see it. Perfect, yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So let's copy the contents of this, and let's go back to our BurpSuite repeater window. And we already know that this one works, right? So I'm just going to modify it. I'm going to paste in, instead of hello world, I'm going to paste in this text. And what this is doing is we're creating a PHP file that looks for the parameter called CMD. And what that's going to do is it's going to echo it into system, which is basically just a way to execute commands on the system through PHP. I'll show you what that means, right? So I'm going to send this off, and we get an upload completed message. So let's go out and try to actually browse to this torrent, or this image that we uploaded, this fake image that we uploaded. So we have a PHP file listed here. I'm going to open that up. Okay, so notice this first chunk here are those the magic bytes I was talking about, right? But then it also says, hey, we can't execute a blank command. Right, what does that mean? Well, when we click on this, it doesn't actually provide that CMD parameter I was talking about. So we need to come in and we need to give it the CMD parameter, and then we could set that equal to whatever command we want to run. So just to start, I can do a basic whoami command. And nice. The result comes back and it shows us we're running that command as www-data. I could take it further, right? And I could do an ipconfig command or any sort of command. And actually we're running a Linux system, so I'm going to do ifconfig. And it doesn't look like www-data user has the ability to run that command. But we could do other things, like run uname, and we get the operating system of Linux. Try to do a -a, and we get the host name, we get some version information, Ubuntu, we get some timestamps. This is everything we need to confirm command execution. We could even try to cat out the contents of etc password, and now we have a list of all of the users on the machine. So we could take this however far as we want. We could turn this into a full reverse shell, or we could just try to piecemeal ourselves together some sort of exploit that compromises this computer. But at this point, we have command execution, all because we were able to upload PNG files. Before I end this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to myself over at Infinite Logins. If you haven't checked out my channel, which obviously you're here right now, please do check out some of the other content that I have. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and if nothing else, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps me out a ton as I'm trying to grow and get started here, and I really appreciate your guys' time in viewing my video today.